There's a great rule that you can imply on yourself. Just imply this on yourself every time you're looking to take a trade. This is something to think about. I think it'll save you a lot of heartache, a lot of time, a lot of effort. This one very simple rule. I know, I don't want to make it too simple, but there is a very simple rule here. You identify, let's say you have a setup. You look at the chart, this is the 2-minute chart. You're looking at it earlier, you're like, okay, if this breaks above 45, it could be a long to the highs. Look at that thing dumping right now. But if you identify that there was a setup and you did not take the setup, right? You didn't take it, you didn't get long right here. And then the market moves all the way up to here. Like, are you really gonna get long up here when you wouldn't get long down there? Think about that, right? Just like ask yourself that question. When you're looking at a setup and you don't take the setup and you wait, like, this is what, fucking 10 minutes later? 10 minutes later, we're at the high of day, and now you convince yourself to take a trade, to take the FOMO trade. Like, if you can't see the issue here, well, you've got a problem, right? Because now this is just nothing but FOMO. You're FOMOing into the top. And don't get me wrong. I 100%, I had the same thing. I looked at it, I was like, fuck, like, is this thing just gonna push straight through the highs now? But I'm also trying to force myself. I'm like, well, if I don't take this setup, like, this was obviously the much better setup, the much safer, better entry. Off of the VWAP bounce, like, do I really want to get high all the way up here? Get high. Do I really want to get long all the way up here at the highs? I'm thinking that there's no reason to get long up here. I need to wait for another good setup. This is nothing more than a FOMO entry, a FOMO trade, right? We want to avoid the FOMO trades. If we're not going to get long at our actual setup, our actual entry, well, there's no fucking reason to get long at the top. Somebody just asked me, do I think this is a short setup now? Well, let's look at the bigger time frames. 15-minute chart. I wouldn't say it's a short setup just yet. I would basically be waiting to see us break, the 15-minute opening range, to be honest. I think that's a good way to kind of avoid trouble here at this point. Like, is it 30 points higher? Yeah, it is. It definitely is. But, like, do I really want to get short? We're pretty much right in the middle of this opening range here. Just chopping around here. I mean, we're right there, the VWAP. I don't think there's a reason to get short until we break this 15-minute opening range. Again, another very simple idea. Like, are you going to get short right here in the middle of the 15-minute opening range? Just because the market's pulling back, don't mean you got to get short. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So, as of right now, I'm taking no trades on this. I will be patient. I will wait. I might just walk away, actually. So, that's my biggest thing. Identifying where we are. Are we inside the 15-minute opening range? Are we, did we just make a big move? Think about that. Like, every time we make a big move, there's going to be a level, an area of consolidation. That's how trading goes. We all know, right? We all know this. Well, maybe we all don't know this, but very simple. The market moves in waves. No matter if it's moving up, no matter if it's moving down. If it's moving down, it's making waves. It's moving in waves. It might not always be super easy to see it or to spot the waves, but we know that at some point, the market's going to pull back. At some point, the market's going to kind of retest, and that's where I'm looking to get long, or I'm looking to get short on those areas of retest. I mean, this morning, the waves, a little deeper wave there, the waves, it's not very sexy, but if you go to the bigger time frames, 15-minute chart here, we look at the 15-minute chart, we're kind of just still trending higher here. The trend is still your friend. 15-minute chart, even though we sold down here, really no reason to do anything until we really kind of break that trend and then move lower, right? We're moving lower through there. Right now, we're just sitting there. Could you get short here? You could. Will this go lower? It could. But as of right now, there's still really, the VWAP's there. This overall trend's there. We haven't really dumped here yet. The ES is still holding up. The dollar's kind of pulling back here as well. Dollar's pulling back. ES pulling back. Interesting. All right, now the QQQ is sitting on the VWAP there as well. So just be patient, my friends. Wait for the right setups. Be like water. Trade like water. Be in, be out. Make the money. Make the money. Honey, honey, money. So there it is. Giving you guys a little breakdown on what you can do to avoid, you know, trying to take bad trades. And see how this kind of goes. Right now, we're still trending higher. So if you did get short right here, well, what happens if this rips back to the highs? Where's your stop at here? Like, that's the thing, is like, where's your stop on this short? The high of day at this point? The 50s?